Okay, here's my body blank. I've whittled it down to get rid of all the saw marks and everything. I like to start with a piece of wood that looks like this, before I start detailing it. So I'll take it down to where I've gotten rid of all the saw marks and everything. That way I can see what's in here a little better than just looking at a piece of sawn wood. I've already drilled a neck hole for the head, which will go on my base, similar to this. And I got on the internet and looked all over the place for something that I'd like to incorporate into this, some of the details. This is a old photograph of Red Cloud. Doesn't really look like him. This might be another Red Cloud, the one that everybody thinks about. Red Cloud, the one everyone thinks about is the one who escaped from Oklahoma and headed north to go back to his native grounds up there before they were moved south, but then they caught him and moved him back, unfortunately. So anyway, this one has a blanket over his shoulder, so we'll have a blanket over the shoulder here. But I'm going to try to incorporate these details in here. He's got a real nice neck piece here, some nice beading, and I'll modify it just a little here on the shoulder to give him some fringe out here. And I'm going to try something I really haven't tried that much before, is he has a neckerchief right there around his neck, and I'm going to try to put that on there. So that's where we're going to try to go. So anyway, I've got my blanket over here, and just to sketch things out here, here's his neckerchief up here. Now I'm going to carve, Judy, look here, I'm going to carve this piece separate right here. It's sort of tied around his neck, similar to that right there, and then his neckerchief goes up around like that, which I think will make an interesting little addition. And I will do the knot of the neckerchief, and this part here and the other part over here. I'm going to do that separate because it'll stand out more from the face of the main body. Okay? So we'll just sort of pencil that in here. And naturally he's going to have a beaded strip here on this side. This strip will not show through. And this piece here, the neck piece, as this is the center, basically, it'll come down similar to something like that. It's like it comes up like that. And the fringe on his shirt, come down like that. And just maybe some of that other beaded strip just might peek through here. So that beaded strip will come down. Well, that's a long one. Generally they quit about right in here, but this one drops way down. But I don't think we're going to go that low. Go down to about this distance here. Back up. Across the top of his shoulder. Similar to that. And he even has a piece metal right there. It's pretty well flashed out there where you can't see some of the detail on it. We may use that, but then again we may not. It has, you can see the chain here that holds it. Now that'd be a nice detail. I like to put things like chains, and if you've seen some of my cowboy carvings, almost all of them anymore have a watch chain going from his shirt to his vest pocket. And that'll probably just be about it, I think. So what we want to do now is we want to outline these things. And I can see a place right here that's going to have to be carved down. Like that. Now beaded strips are pretty stiff, so they don't show much in the way of wrinkles or anything. As a matter of fact, they don't show anything in the way of wrinkles, generally. That's better. So now we can go ahead and just bring this on over. Sorry if I moved it. Now one thing I like to do when I'm doing beaded strips or anything like that is to get a piece of cardstock like this. It's an old file. Where'd it come from? Figure out how wide I want to make my strip. Tape measure out here. And that one's about 3/4 of an inch, maybe just a bit wider. So I'll lay my thing here and make it about like that. Come on, stay there. Make it about like that right there. You can tell I'm kind of disorganized here. One of these days I'm going to clean off my workbench. Lay this on there. Find me an old knife. And cut me off a strip. Just like that. Knock Judy out of the way there. And lay that on there. Now the reason I do this, let me get this square. Is to make sure when I'm carving I get everything equal. I'm going to have to shift it just a little bit to get it over to where I want it, just like that. Even out that twist right there. There we go. Pencil in my shoulder here. That looks good. So we've got this. And I haven't decided, well, I want to cut away a lot of stuff there. So, are we committed? No. I want this to be wider. So I'm going to move it. That'll be much better. Carve these lines away so I can make sure that I get it right. See, isn't this exciting? When I'm carving, figures like this, I really like to get them as authentic and as I possibly can, because it's just, it's important to me. Yeah, that's going to be a lot better, I think. Modify this a little bit. Looks good. Okay, I'm going to take a little wood off of here. Alright, so we've got a spot right in here. Get out of there. I think all we're going to be able to accomplish today is just blocking things out. Let me look at that a minute. Let me undercut this a little so it shows up a little better. Thunder out there you're hearing. That's better. Okay. Now for the strip. I'll leave that right there and make sure I get it right from this side. Well, it shows it as being right, but it sure don't look right. Let's just hope that it is. Okay. Somebody's lunch is making noises. Okay. Now we'll start this one. When I'm carving, I try to do as much finished carving as I can as I'm blocking things out. That way, you don't have to constantly go back and do things. And that's where a lot of the people call them the fuzzies show up. It's because you had to go back and do it, carve a little more in an area you thought you'd finished. So it's best just to try to get them finished before you leave. Now this is fringe. Fringe hanging has a tendency to dish out. So this is not what I like right in here, where it's high right here, low here, and low here. So I want that to have a dished appearance. There you go, now you can see it. See how much better that looks? Take off a little more here. This is the edge of his shirt right here, where it meets the sleeve. Judy's getting tired of holding that camera. Okay, let's just take a peek here. Now he's going to have one blanket fold will come down here and match up with this crease. Another one will come up similar to that one like there to match this one here. And I'll have his head tipped just a little. just is right. Well, there, he's starting to look pretty good. We can see the details. I think his head needs to come down some more into the carving. But it's looking pretty good, I think. Good place to stop. So, until next time, I'll talk to you later and we'll just continue on